Hi everyone, this is Chantay, aka Shanteezy. That's on my Twitter. But this is Chantay. Welcome to a edition of Chantay's Analysis. Happy New Year, happy 2021. I hope you guys had a great Christmas, a great Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, and a great New Year. Hope you had some black eyed peas. I didn't have black eyed peas, but I had rice and peas and some collard greens and some candy yams and some roast pork and some cornbread that my mom cooked yesterday and I had for 2 days. So I have some today and I have some in my refrigerator for tomorrow. So I'll be eating that. But welcome. And those who are new, you can check me out on YouTube. I have a YouTube page called Chantay Berry, and you can see all the content, so you can see all the content for it. No, that's the wrong one. So it's the New Year's edition. So that's what we're doing. So let's just get to COVID. If you're joining in, you can join in, hop in, or you can watch on the feed. But this is it. So COVID. Global confirmed cases around the country, according to the Johns Hopkins website, is 83,957,701. Global death toll is 1,821,121. No, 827,021. U.S. confirmed cases is 20,128,359. The death toll here in the U.S. is 347,787. So we're close to 350. We ushered in at 344, 345 with the COVID death toll, and we usher in the new year with over 20 million cases in the United States. It's 2021. We've been dealing with this since March of 2020, and we're 10 months in. It's not looking good. And it's supposed to be we have a European strand. But other countries that are suffering, we have India at 10 million, 10.2. We have Brazil at 7.7 million. We have Russia at 3.1. We have France at 2,697,014. UK 2,549,689. Happy New Year to you, Joseph. We have the UK at 2,549,689, and there is a European strand that from UK they found here in the U.S. at in Colorado. That's a shocker. Turkey 2,220,855. Italy 2,129,376. Spain 1,928,265, and Germany 1,762,504. Yikes. And you have Panama at 249,733, DR 172,218, Guatemala 138,236, Kenya 96,614, Nigeria 88,587, Ghana 54,932, Senegal 19,364. You have Jamaica at 12,915, Belize at 10,776, Haiti 10,015, Bahamas 7,887, Trinidad and Tobago 7,158, Guyana 6,348, Barbados 395. St. Lucia, 357,000. 357, yeah, 350, no, 353. Excuse me. Antigua and Barbuda, 159. Grenada at 127. St. Vincent's Island, 121. Dominica, 88. And St. Kitts, 32. That rounds up the whole, most of the countries around the world. Because there's 191 countries with cases of COVID. But I only give you about 28 countries, including the U.S. So, yeah. You can look at the rest of it on the, the coronavirus.jhu.edu. That's Johns Hopkins University in Medicine. Then I turn to the New York Times COVID map. You have California at 2.3 million. You have Texas at 1.7. You have Florida at 1.3. You have New York, I think by tomorrow, may reach 1 million. They're at 996,073. You have Illinois, 965,955. Ohio, 700,380. Pennsylvania, 652,952. Georgia, 644,065. Tennessee, 572,579. And North Carolina, 541,156. And even though there's 2 vaccines out, I think one is Moderna and the other one is from Pfizer, because they came out before Christmas. Only frontline workers is getting it, and that includes doctors, and possibly will be the not first responders, but the essential workers will get it, and then we'll get it. But there's still no national strategy. The current occupant of the White House, the outgoing occupant of the White House, is still absent. We haven't heard from him in regards of COVID. And he signed the relief bill that only will give people $600 stimulus instead of the $1,200 or the $2,000. But he doesn't care. Nor does Addison Mitchell McConnell, also known as Mitch McConnell, also known as Moscow Mitch. Nor the GOP senators. They voted against the $2,000 stimulus for each American making under $125,000. There's other countries that give their constituents or their citizens, stimulus money per month during this crisis. And their population is not even, it's not even half. It's like a quarter. Or less than a quarter. And they take care of their people well. And their economy is not even as high. But the United States of America is supposed to be the richest and free and capitalist nation of the world. And we can't give our people $2,000 per month. And a lot of people in this country make under $125,000. There's a very few people that make over $125,000. And yet, the GOP, who the majority of the country they represent, don't even represent the ideals of their constituents, even though I don't understand why these people still vote for these folks, don't want to give people $2,000. I'm very confused. Very confused. Perplexed. Don't understand why. But January 5th will determine who will be the Senate Majority Leader. Will Addison Mitchell McConnell will still be the Senate Majority Leader after being in for 5 years and it's been a mess? Or Senate Minority Leader, and my senator, Charles Schumer, also known as Chuck Schumer. People say, oh, he's ineffective. He's just not a loudmouth. He doesn't tweet all day and scream all day. He just is peaceful. He just wants legislation passed like everybody else. You don't have to be a loudmouth to get things done or be effective. Progressives should take note of that. But I hope my cousins in Georgia and like about 1 or 2 friends that live in Georgia will vote for Reverend Raphael Warnock and John Ossoff. Because those two will determine who will be the Senate Majority Leader. And this way it will be easier for President-elect Joe Biden and Vice President-elect Kamala Harris to set forth their agenda and to nominate their cabinet picks. And now, like, I believe over 2 million people in Georgia have turned out for early elections. So I can imagine how present day election is looking like. And that's like less than a week from now. So we'll determine. So stay tuned and watch the coverage for the Senate runoff race. Now I want to draw the attention to the election certification. So the new Congress starts next week. People get sworn in on Sunday. You know, Republicans picked up seats in the House, even though Democrats still have the majority. But you already have like over 120 Republican congressional representatives opposing the election certification of Joe Biden as the president-elect. That's what's going on. So our democracy is still in a disarray. Even though we will have a new president, a new vice president, I believe it's still in a disarray. And it's still in a disarray because, hey, Shay, and the reason why it's in a disarray is because this country is polarized, and it's been polarized for the last 4 years. And even though you're not supposed to talk about politics on the job, which I have not, thank God, but just hearing the conversations like around me in my building, people, I think, just yearning for new leadership, but they don't know how to communicate it. But there's some people that still think that Donald Trump did this and did that. No. Presidents don't have that much power. They have executive power, but at the end of the day, that's why there's 3 co-equal branches of government. You have the legislative branch that make and pass the laws, and you have the judicial branch who basically set forth the law. Yeah. But back to these election certifications, I believe that Republicans are crazy because when George Bush was reelected, even though Democrats opposed his election, they still acknowledged the fact that he was the president-elect. Like, he got reelected. And 4 years ago, even though Donald Trump, you know, there was some Russian interference, people realized that Donald Trump was elected to office. So I don't know what these Republicans' mission is. I don't know what they're doing. Yeah, it is. They complain about identity politics, but they created the identity politics. But what they're doing, they're hurting them themselves, and they already hurt it. They already hurt their party. The Republican Party has always been kind of messed up since the post-civil rights movement, but it's bad. It's just as bad. It's worse. You have conservatives leaving the party. So now the party's not even full of conservatives. It's not even moderates. It's right, far right extremism. That's what it is. So Josh Hawley, the senator from Missouri who will oppose Joe Biden's certification as he as elected as the president elect, doesn't make sense. 81 million people voted for Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. And that's the end of the story. All right, I'm almost done. Wow. So I'll be happy once I watch the inauguration on TV. I cannot go because I got to work from home. I just started my temporary assignment, my job. Can't say where I work at because I signed an NDA. But I'll be watching it from my house on my 32-inch TV. I will. Same to you. Happy New Year. And whoever performs, I watch. It's not going to be a big inauguration because you can't crowd. Because you have to social distance and maybe virtual, which that's perfect. And once they do get in there, once they are inaugurated, there's going to be a national lockdown. I just want to know when it's going to happen. And how these people in the Rust Belt, how they will act. Because they don't act crazy. All I know is they're going to be like doing crazy shit, doing all kinds of shit, protesting the stay-at-home order like they did back in March and April. Listen, these stay-at-home orders will save your life. Look how it saved New York at one time. When we had the most cases, when we lost 800 people per day from this virus. That was crazy. But stay-at-home orders is necessary. It's necessary. You keep you safe. You go to the store, take your ass back here. Even though that's why that $2,000 was important. But it's probably going to happen. And that's if we get these two senators in. And if Joe Biden and Kamala Harris put that legislation, listen, things will get done. We got to claim it. So let's do that. But lastly, I want to deconstruct, and I've been deconstructing them time to time, but so these progressives since the post of this election, since 2 years ago, since 5 years ago, they've been a mess, right? And it's like each year they progress to get worse. And during the 2020 elections, they was just toxic as hell on Twitter and Instagram and on YouTube. And once the primaries came down to both Bernie and Biden, they were just acting like a complete mess. They were calling the black people that overwhelmingly voted for Joe Biden in the South, calling them establishment voters, centrist voters. You don't know if they're centrist. You don't know where they align. They don't know if they're moderate or leftist. You don't know what they define themselves ideologically. Black voters don't define themselves, that most black voters I know over the age of 45 do not define themselves in those particular ideologues versus younger black people. So they're going to vote for whoever can get Donald Trump out of office and who can get a grip on this economy and to not divide this country, to bring this country back together, and now COVID. And Joe Biden was that guy, and turns out true. And picking his vice president mattered, and I'm glad that he picked Kamala Harris because that was my candidate during the primaries. But these progressives just irritate the soul out of me. And this forced to vote nonsense is completely dumb as rocks. There's no strategy. There's no concrete plan. There's no structural argument to force the Progressive caucus, folks in the progressive caucus, and those who define themselves as progressives to vote for Medicare for all, to have that on the floor, nor the Green New Deal. You got to handle COVID first, because we have over 20 million cases. We got to make sure people have food on their table, make sure they have a roof over their head. We have to make sure that people have their paychecks, money in their pocket, because that's what is going on right now in this present moment. And when the new Congress, the 117th Congress, starts this year, that Medicare for all and Green New Deal is going to be way pushed to the side. And of course, student loan cancellation, which if that is incorporated in a COVID relief bill, which it was in the HEROES Act, then that's fine. But you can't force people to put Medicare for all on the floor when we still have the Affordable Care Act. It's going to take 4 years to folks to transition from the insurance that they have to Medicare for all. And we still don't know what's in that bill. I still don't know what's in that bill. I know with John Conyers, you had an option, a single payers option and a public option, and then and there was another option, I believe, as well. I'm not quite as sure, but I mean, we don't know what's in Bernie's bill. Bernie didn't give the specifics. All we know that he will tax people that make $29,000 and more. It's baseless at this point. And for Jimmy Dore to even yell and curse, talking about Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez needs to put the bill on the floor, she needs to pressure Nancy Pelosi. And as much as I don't speak for Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, who the hell is Jimmy Dore to tell a sitting congresswoman to do what he wants him to do, as if he has any ownership and stake in politics? Like he works for her, like he gives her money towards her campaign, which I don't even know. But, and if so, he still don't have the right to tell her. And even if she brings it up to Nancy Pelosi, how many people will rally behind her with Medicare for all? You have to work across the aisle, people in your caucus, no matter where they define themselves, in order to have a concrete health care plan. Some parts of Medicare for all could be incorporated in the Affordable Care Act. If she was really that strategic, and if any of these progressives were smart, what they're advocating for could be incorporated in the Affordable Care Act. Well, this is how racist and how sexist they are. They're not for us, not by us. They don't care. They don't care. And that's why I always call them out every chance of the moment. And then you have your black deputies like Brianna Gray, Dr. Cornel West, and some other little funky dude talking about, oh, you need to force Nancy Pelosi to put Medicare for all on the floor. No, Nancy Pelosi could do what she want to do. Jim Clyburn could do what he want to do. Hakeem Jeffries, Stony Holman, they could do what they want. And people in Congress could vote the way they want. Even though if I agree with them or not, they can vote the way they want to. Just saying. So this force to vote shit is dumb. The town hall was a shit show. Jimmy Dore is a psychotic, misogynistic asshole. Katie Halper is a punk, and she is a scaredy cat. And Brianna Gray was mute as a mouse. They let Jimmy Dore basically curse them all out. See, I'm not going to let no old white guy curse me out. No. I don't care. He defines himself as a leftist. You're not going to curse me out because I will curse your ass out. Sir. Don't know who you talking to, but I am that one if you want to go toe to toe with me. And another thing with this whole, like, I'm not voting for Nancy Pelosi, and you're telling people not to vote for Nancy Pelosi as Speaker of the House, so y'all want Kevin McCarthy? Kevin McCarthy is a punk. And so is Steve Scalise. They're both punks. You want them to run the freaking House of Representatives? Hell no. Hell no. If you feel that bold to be the Speaker of the House, make sure you pass bills and negotiate with people from the other side, like a Nancy Pelosi, like a Jim Clyburn, like a Marsha Fudge at the time, like a Barbara Lee, like a Karen Bass, like a Joyce Betty. You can't be the Speaker of the House and pass no bills or none of your bills became law. You can't be the incoming person coming into Congress and try to start shit. And this is only your first government job. Take some pointers from the people that came before you. The Congressional Black Caucus experienced representatives that been there forever, that actually do for their constituents. You probably want to follow them. They actually negotiate with people on the other side. Bipartisanship does still kind of work. Fighting within your own party doesn't make any sense. The main corrupt people in Congress is some of those MAGA hats, MAGA tats in Congress, in the House of Representatives, and those Tea Party and those far-right extremists in the Senate who actually don't want to give Americans $2,000. You know who want to give Americans $2,000? The Democratic Party that serves in Congress. Two of them didn't want to, but one is leaving. I think already left. But the majority, absolutely. It's incorporated in the HEROES Act. So these little newly elected progressive folks need to shut the hell up. And for the last goddamn time, and I'm going to say this, Bernie Sanders did not author or draft the bill that will give Americans $2,000 a month. He didn't. I don't care who get mad at me. I don't care who like me for saying what I said. I said what I said. He did not draft that bill. He co-sponsored the bill. And I give people credit that co-sponsored the bill, like my Senator Kristen Gillibrand and Senator Ed Murkey of Massachusetts. They co-sponsored the bill. Who wrote the damn bill was the Vice President-elect, then Senator at the time, Kamala Harris. I don't know how many times, I got to keep saying this shit for people to understand. Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth? Because these progressives, more so these white leftists, want to be revisionists and want to Christopher Columbus every goddamn thing that black people do, especially black women. Mehdi Hassan giving Bernie Sanders the credit for authoring the bill that would give Americans $2,000 per month What's astonishing? And Bernie was like, yeah. I'm like, Bernie, this is what your chances. Like, no, it was Kamala Harris that authored the bill. And she presented it to us. And we said yes. That's it. Because Kamala Harris's economic advisor and all her other staff, they wrote parts of the bill. They came up with the figures. They did the research. Like, did Bernie's people do the research? No. No. Absolutely not. So I wish people would stop saying that. And I wish some of these white leftists, these ones with the blue checks, will stop Christopher Columbusing everything that black people do. And I meant to say that includes with the Medicare for All, because that wasn't originally Bernie Sanders' plan. That was John Conyers, the late Representative John Conyers' plan back in 2003. That was his. He introduced Medicare for All. And he was the longest serving congressional guy. I think him and Debbie Dingell's husband. Because they served around like the same time. And he came up with Medicare for All back in 2003. When Bernie Sanders was still a representative back then. So I'm going to need for these white leftists to stop Christopher Columbus and everything. And stop giving Bernie Sanders the credit. Even though I appreciate what he's trying to do with student loan debt. I have no beef with Bernie. But I wish these white leftists will stop praising him as a savior when he was not the progressive king at the time. It was black people. Like John Conyers. Like even at the time, Charles Rangel. Maxine Waters. Barbara Lee. They were out there doing the work. While Bernie Sanders was collecting a check. So please, miss me with the BS. But I would like to end this here. I don't know what's planned for 2021. But what I do know is I hope to get out of this pandemic. I hope to not wear 2 masks every day when I go outside. As I wear my surgical mask, and over my surgical mask, I wear my cloth mask. I'm tired of wearing 2 masks. People are like, well, why you wear 2 masks? I wear 2 masks because people are disgusting. People are nasty. You got some people that's still trying to walk around with no mask like they can't get COVID. And then when they get COVID and get sick, they be too late. They be like, I wish I could have worn my mask. Masks are free. I live in New York City. To buy the surgical mask, you could go to any little 99-cent store. It's like $1.99 for like 10 packs. And it's free at the train station if you can't afford it. And it's free at the hospital if you can't afford it. If you live near a hospital, what some people folks do, you can walk your ass to the hospital and get you a free mask. In the train station, they give out masks. You can get your ass a mask. There's some stores that give you a mask, a surgical mask. So I don't understand. But I would like to get out of this not wearing a mask. And I think it might happen during the fall, because I know it's not going to happen now, obviously. And it may not happen in the springtime. Slightly not even in the summer, but it's going to happen in the fall. And more than likely, we're going to have a national lockdown, probably until like March or April. And we're going to be wearing masks for quite a while. And we slowly will graduate out of this pandemic. But we're going to slowly gather. You slowly. And that's how you do it. And that's how it should have been done. But what's in the past was in the past. So now we got to look forward. But until then, you guys have a good night. Have a great new year. It was still a new year. We can please, 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 in the love of God, wear your mask. Either it's a cloth or a surgical, wear your mask. Bring your hand sanitizer with you. And wash your hands. And social distance. For Christ's sake. Please and thank you. Until then, have a good night.